Good evening, my name is Richard Dickens, and I will be discussing the growing populations in our United States prison systems. 2015, there was approximately 2 million people incarcerated in a local jail, juvenile holding facility, Indian reservation jail, state, or federal prison. This consists of 6,125 facilities housing criminals from nonviolent drug crimes all the way up to murder. I will go back 50 years to keep up with an accurate count of these rising numbers. I will address past, present operations to try to reduce these numbers, and then I will present actions that should be brought back, eliminate current actions, or provide possible new ones to help reduce these ever-growing numbers in the population of the United States prison system. To begin with, in 1965, there were 210,895 individuals in a state or federal prison. In 1975, it went up to 240,000. In 1985, it jumped up to 465,000. That's nearly double. 10 years later, 1995, there was 1.6 million. And in 2005, it went down a slight bit to 1.4 million. Then, of course, as I stated already, 2015, approximately 2 million individuals. This steady yet staggering growth in the facilities is amazing yet scary. Now let's take a look as to why these numbers have grown the way that they have. With World War II ending in 1945, the nation is in a whirlwind. Trying to crack down on organized crime from the 20s and 30s, drug use like morphine and marijuana from the post-war, and civil rights issues boiling underneath the surface. Criminal justice in before World War II was handled at state or local levels. Afterwards, the government stepped in. It had a trickle-down effect. Federal laws to state to local. Democrats were losing grasp on the South. Republicans were filling in and stepping up. From being merely the wrong color, people, mostly men, were simply just thrown in jail. After that, drug use went from marijuana to other hippie hallucinogen drugs like peyotes to harder drugs like LSD and heroin. In the 1980s, it brought you cocaine from Colombia. The 90s brought you ecstasy and meth. Then when you throw hard-hitting drugs, poverty-stricken areas, crime will rise. Crimes such as theft, to feed your habit, domestic violence, prostitution, trafficking of drugs, guns, humans, and worst of all, murders. Some methods used to try to keep the growing populations may have started all the way back in 1930. This was known as the Federal Prison Industries, or FPI, and also known as UNICOR today. This program employed inmates to create mass products and services primarily for the U.S. government, but is completely taxpayer-free. It gives inmates vocational training so that post-incarceration they can contribute to society and support themselves. Amazingly enough, this program is still in effect to this day, 82 years later. Other programs, such as Tough on Crime, You Do the Time, You Do the Crime, yes, taking these repeat offenders off the streets makes the public feel better, but clogs the court systems with rapid filling prisons. There's also 3 Strikes You're Out. This is directed towards violent offenses like murder, manslaughter, kidnapping, and so on. Going back to getting tough on crime, there was also chain gangs, another labor working force originally rooted from slavery, ending in the 50s, but resurrected back again into the mid-90s. Then the most well-known to date is the Sheriff Joe Arapio in Arizona. There are many other programs to help rehabilitate inmates by providing education, faith-based to feed the spirit, mental health, and drug rehab. with this part, I gotta at least throw a little bit of personal input into with this. My grandfather, he was murdered. It was a mistake of identity, and the gentleman who murdered him was a family friend of his, and he killed him merely for mistaking him for his brother, because my grandfather's brother owed him money over a poker game. The other personal touch to this for me is one of my friends. He is a prior military individual who served for the Marine Corps, and while he was deployed, his wife decided to go and sleep around on him. When he came back, he caught them in the middle of the act, and he was already experiencing post-traumatic stresses and PTSD. With having 4 tours underneath his belt, having PTSD, and seeing his wife in the action, he ended up losing his cool, not thinking clearly, and nearly beat the guy to death. He served his time, he's out now, and he's probably, not even probably, he is my best friend. And it hurts knowing that stuff like this goes on. The 3 strikes you're out, yeah, I get that, that's great. Especially for violent offenders, murderers, and stuff like that. But with the prison systems growing the way they are, there's got to be something different. You do the time, you do the crime, you do the time. That's got to stop. Because with these non-violent offenses, such as drug possession, yeah, it's bad, but it's somebody's choice. They're going to keep doing it regardless. They got to have some kind of sliding scale going on. The man who murdered my grandfather, don't feel sorry for him. He had conscience enough to kill someone over a measly little amount from a poker game. He can rot in jail. And I'm sure anyone can agree with that. Individuals who come back from war or have experienced PTSD and then experience a snap episode like my best friend, he never had anything against him before that. It could have gone way worse. But luckily, he did a short stint, was released on good conduct, and the only thing that's going on now is he's having issues with former COs basically harassing him. So, chain gangs, yeah, I'm all for it. Have these guys do labor, because you know what? If they're going to be doing stupid stuff like kidnapping, murder, manslaughter, stupid enough to keep drinking and getting behind the wheel multiple times, they need to do the time. Completely for that. Having the FPI or Unicon, great idea for individuals such as my friend or other people who have gone through situations where they made a wrong judgment. Give them the chance to rehabilitate, get the education that they need to go outside and be a productive person, especially if they're a kid. Yeah, 18 years old, you're an adult, but you still don't have the mental mentality to be a functioning adult. I'm sorry. Even 21-year-olds. Yeah, you're good to drink. Doesn't mean you should be doing it, though. Kind of hits hard to me. So I'm thinking there's got to be something changed here. Sorry for going off the script here, but it hits for me. And there's got to be a different way to alleviate this population 2 million people in jail. It's ridiculous. Faith-based work programs, giving them education. Half the people that are in jail don't even have a GED probably. Not going off of what I've looked up and stuff, but I'm just saying. A good majority of these individuals don't have an education. Give them an education. Schools, public schools, private schools, schooling in general, contributes hand in hand to the growing population. If you don't have a good education, or no education at all, you get a poor paying job. You have a poor paying job, you have low self-esteem. You have low self-esteem, you'll end up doing drugs. If you end up doing drugs, like I said before, leads to theft to feed your habit. Selling your body, prostitution. Then, if you do have family going on in the mix of it, you'll get domestic disputes